over the last few weeks I've been making loads and loads of content and I've had no time really to relax. A popular thing in Russia to do is to hire a house for a couple of days with your friends, with your family, to get away from everything. And there's loads and loads of houses or dachas, kind of dacha looking houses out of town that you can rent. I've rented this one. We've come here this weekend with my friends to have a barbecue, to relax, to have a banya. Think it's going to be fun. And also we're going to be horsing in Russia. So there we are, ready to rock and roll. So this house, I've literally just arrived, parked my car here, spoke to the owner. So we've got a house here with 4 bedrooms. I'll show you inside in a bit. I've just put my charcoal down here. And then as we go down this little corridor of trees, I'll show you the reason we've come here. Now obviously, you know, it's early spring, so it's not looking particularly amazing right now. But this is the reason we've come here, and it's for the banya and the barbecue area really. What a view! The church is kind of camouflaged with the sky at the moment. I think there's somebody drunk inside the church because it's 10 minutes to 4. So there's no real reason for it to ring. Who have we got here? Who's arrived? Добрый вечер. Добрый вечер.
Добрый день.
Я знал, что так приедешь вот так следующий день, я знал.
Как-то мы вовремя, мы в очереди стояли.
Привет, привет.
Ой, здесь уже комары есть.
Привет. Ой, Жанечка, Жанечка.
Привет, привет.
Привет, 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 привет. Рома, что ты делаешь, что ты здесь готовишь? Приготовишь?
Смотри, это будет бэйби-картофель с салом, завернутый в фольгу, запекается и просто будет бомба.
Бомба, да?
Да, бомбическая бомба. Так,
Нам надо сообщить кто-нибудь, что бомба у нас будет или
что
нет.
заложена бомба
Да.
в этот,
Всем.
заложена бомба в мангал, сообщи.
So these are not my famous chicken wings. These are just ones the guys bought from the shop. Don't know if they're going to be nice or not. So I'll just quickly show you what the banya's like inside. It's just heating up for us now. No door handle. Look how the guys are all color-coded today. Look at that. That's great. Рома, что у вас есть? Покажи. Это наш повар сегодня,
Да.
Роман
Это
Апельсинович.
очень, это кухня, высокая французская кухня, сало с картошкой.
Лошадь тоже хочет есть.
А лошадь хочет ударить Рома в лицо, ты знаешь такое? Что это такое? А. The guys are all laughing and joking. It's funny. It's funny when they all start joking and stuff. My friends in Russia are completely different to my friends in the UK. Now, I'm not saying my friends are better than my friends in the UK. They're just different. Completely different personalities, completely different kind of atmosphere. In the UK, we kind of, I don't know, maybe a bit more childish with our jokes, a bit more silly. But I try and get my Russian friends to be silly as well, and I always try and make some stupid, I don't know, event or something from the weekend. Ой.
Мне кажется, Колчак на нем съебывался.
Туши, туши, туши.
Царским золотом.
Хороший, хороший, хороший.
Хобби-хорс.
По уздечке, когда гладишь, очень приятно.
So we have a very professional coming here. His name is Roman, and he's a very good horsing expert. Next we have Yuri. He's a
Мою лошадку зовут Реклама.
Reklama. Oh, oh, this it is, this it.
Так. Погладь ее.
Аккуратно только.
Хоп. Так.
Oh.
Ого. И обратно. Обратно. Так. Так.
So what do you think of the potato that?
Да, и для черных, и для обычных белых. Все, надо снимать, кстати.
Ты плотнее трусов ничего не одевал 4 месяца?
Да.
Собачки.
Вкусно?
Собачки нет.
Да, хочу сказать,
Потому что
что
музыка не очень
эта еда не только
интересная.
вкусная, но и полезная, потому что здесь сразу активированный уголь присутствует,
Ну
который
да,
выводит все шлаки из организма.
Что живот болеть не
Да,
будет.
да, да, да.
Включи.
Подарил Хобби-хорсинг.
I must have been to 100 different banyas in Russia. They're all different, they all have their own uniqueness. Russian banya is a thing that you're going to find out when you come here. To start with, when I first came to Russia, I just didn't get it. Didn't get it at all. I was like, it's just weird. But after a while, you start understanding Russian culture and traditions, and it just becomes a thing that you learn to love. A lot of foreigners I know don't go to banya. In fact, I'm pretty much the only one I know that actually talks about going to banya. The rest of them is kind of like, maybe they're not integrated into the whole traditions and the culture as much as I am, maybe. But I love banya. But every banya has its own plus and its minus. A lot of these banyas, they're places that someone built it for themselves, and then they ended up renting it out because they needed money. Perhaps they built a cottage, like a dacha, like we're at now, kind of house in the countryside, and they end up renting it out. And these aren't generally as good as the commercial ones that are built for use by other people. The ones that are built in order to be rented out to people, just purposely built to rent out as banyas, they're built of kind of the materials that don't break, because you know that different people are going to be using them. They're built from just quality materials that don't break. When it comes to building a banya for yourself, there are all sorts of styles, all sorts of different materials used. Sometimes the actual banya itself is okay, sometimes it's not. For example, this one, it's really hot, but there's not much steam. So it's kind of weird. You sit there and you don't really sweat so much. It might look like I'm sweating a lot now, but generally I sweat more in the kind of commercial banyas. When you come to Russia and you start going to different banyas, you'll understand what I mean. Just sometimes you're a bit disappointed because you wish that the banya was better than it is, I guess. That's probably the easiest thing to say.
А потом подключимся.
Тебе не надо фишки?
So in Russia, we are playing illegal poker. Each one represents the amount of rubles. This is 50,000 rubles. And Roma hasn't got much money with him, so he's betting his house and his car.
Подожди.
The goal is to try and get Roma as drunk as possible so that he loses.
Да,
Ты уже деньги считаешь.
Заляпаешь, да не
Жан, ты
заляпаешь.
уже деньги
А она
считаешь?
сейчас кассу уже пойдет менять.
Накаркал, блядь.
Нет, надо
890.
на здоровье.
За победу.
796.
Да, да, у всех.
So sometimes I forget to film because we're just relaxing here, having fun. Some of my friends are drinking, enjoying playing poker and just enjoying each other's company. So it's a bit strange to grab the camera every now and again and film, but obviously they're going to make the video as well. Do you do this kind of thing with your friends? Do you hire a house for the weekend and go away together? It's a thing we do quite a lot here, and it's a good way to just spend time with each other, not have the responsibility of being the owner of the house and having to look after everyone, and just all mingling in together, buying food, going somewhere, cooking together, drinking together, spending time together, going to the banyo together. That's what it's all about. It's about friendship, about having fun, and yeah, I really enjoy these weekends with my friends.
По-настоящему у покерных столов выглядит
Так,
шар.
кружок, кружок,
Копать.
копать, чесать,
А
рулить,
за рулем едешь что?
руль,
Колеса.
колесо.
А, и все?
Колесо? Все, что ли? Колесо?
Да.
Так. Кто тебе заказал? Подожди, стоп.
Я.
Наташа сказала.
Ну, кто показывал, тот
Так,
и-
ну начало хорошее. Горизонт. Так. Троллейбус. Троллейбус, провода. Так, ты согласен? Так, ага.
Что сказал?
Так,
Канат.
Математика.
Выпил, ага, сел,
Жанна, мне
поехал.
кажется, лучше
Сел
показывает.
за руль,
Барная стойка.
Так.
за барную стойку сел.
Нет,
Барная
это-
стойка, бармен.
Вкусная
Плачет.
клоун.
Грусть.
Все, что ли?
Сразу угадал.
Such a beautiful, beautiful area. Beautiful pipes. And this house next door to us is just, well, picturesque. So we're going for a nice family walk in the forest. We've found that there's a lake down here, a couple of miles down here, so we thought we'll go for a nice walk, get some fresh air, go find the lake, and yeah, kind of get some exercise in. This is where I slept last night. As you can see, it's a bit too small for me, it wasn't very comfortable, but so we found out that the lake is 4 kilometers walk in this direction. Hopefully we're going to find it. We're going to go through a forest to get there. We're currently discussing, do we want to walk the 4 kilometers to the lake or not? Look how happy everyone is to be walking 4 kilometers to the lake.
Один размер остался. И мой.
So I'm a bit bored already, so I'm just going to annoy my friends.
Сэм, ну прекрати.
Внимание, проезд вне специально выделенных дорог запрещен. Нарушение режима заказника имеет право нарушать.
Это не ребенок, это... So I wonder what this is from. It's interesting, I wonder what was down here in the past. Obviously we've got the road here, and we've seen some electricity cables that have been now abandoned. Look at this, how weird is this? Forest with all these trees and someone's put a small one. Извините, пожалуйста, далеко до озера еще?
Смотря какое, два
Как называется?
взято. Это вот сейчас вот первый поворот налево.
Ага,
Вот прям вот его видно отсюда налево.
ладно.
Ну и где-то, ну, может, километр полтора.
И там красиво, да?
Ну да, я не знаю, как там сейчас пошел, нет. но-
Хорошо, ладно. Спасибо. So we've come across a bit of a problem. So whenever you start going on walks like this, there's always one person that really wants to find the lake, and everyone else is like, oh, we don't want to go. And the more that, and the further that we walk into the forest, the more we're getting lost, and the more we can't find the lake. Even though we've got the navigator on the phone, we still can't really find the way to get to the lake. And so half of us are like moaning, saying, come on, let's just go back. And one of the people is like, no, come on, we're going to find it, let's keep going. And so we're already like 4 kilometers into the forest right now. So before we started the walk, I thought we were just going to go for a little walk in the village. And I was contemplating, right, go for a poo before we go or when we come back. Now I'm wishing I'd done the well, the opposite to what I didn't do. This is turning into a Blair Witch Project. We've got one guy who's really up for the walk. I'm kind of in the middle, I'm behind him, and then we've got the guys at the back that just want to go home. So it looks like we've found the lake. So here we are, a day at the lake. We're going to bully Roma again a little bit now.
Что, писаем и домой.
Я уже пописал, перестань.
Можно попить.
Finally we're almost home. Привет! О, ты к нам придешь?
Ой, хлебушек будет.
Привет! У нас ничего для тебя нет. А почему вот второй сзади стоит за...
Лошадка.
О,
Лошадка, тебя покормить бы. Тебе хлебушка бы дать.
the likelihood is that during the Soviet Union this would have been just abandoned and used as maybe a storage place. And it's absolutely huge. Let's see if we can go inside. Wow. Wow. So this is Sunday school. Interesting. This is the room maybe for the Sunday school. Let's see if we can get further in. Здравствуйте. Можно я посмотрю, да? Спасибо.
Вот это половина храма, честь иконы Пресвятой Богородицы, честь Божьей Матери. Честь Божьей Матери.
Ага.
Вот идем. Посмотри, вот икона Божьей Матери, она называется «Достойно есть». Эта икона написана на Святой горе Афон в 1892 году. Вот идем сюда. Семь, как зовут?
Семь, да, ага.
Семь. Смотри, матушка-царица смотрит на тебя, смотрит?
Ага, да, смотрит, да.
А иди сюда, давай посмотрим. Смотрит мать.
Так же, да, смотрит, да.
Ну, и что же это? Она живая. Это не доска, это живая Божья Матерь. Живая, неповторимая.
Понятно.
Понятно? Вот, пойдем дальше. Вот, и вот Божья Матерь, вот Божья Матерь. Вот такая вот красота. Тут вот святые у нас иконы. Это все святые иконы у нас. Вот, это все святые у нас иконы. Вот.
Ой, как огромная у вас церковь, конечно.
Вот смотри. Это мы
Да.
это мы уже готовимся к Пасхе. Преображение Господне. 19 августа. Спаса Преображения. Это главная икона нашего храма. Вот эта половина храма в честь покрова Божьей Матери. Покрова Божьей Матери. Видишь? Все, вот видишь Божьей Матери. Вот смотри. Божья
Да.
Матерь. Держит покров. Пресвятую Богородицу. А вот это Господь наш Иисус Христос. Это 200 лет.
О.
И это видишь, какие у нас люди были боголюбивые.
И при коммунизме ничего не убрали, ничего, да?
И не закрывали, и ничего. Когда было такое, когда война была, купола надо были, для военных целей. Скинули купола. А потом нашелся один богатый человек и купил за 1 миллион купола, 7 куполов. Это
И
все
обратно
при нас.
поставил, да?
И опять звонят колокола. Православие это есть истинная вера. Единственная истинная вера от апостолов.
So I was inside there for about an hour I met that really nice lady Galina, and she gave me an excursion, and we talked for ages, and she talked and talked about how the Protestant or Church of England version of the church isn't the right one, and how the Russian Orthodox is the correct one, and tried to convince me to become Orthodox. It was a it was an interesting discussion, but she was an extremely nice lady, and I promised her that I'd go back and show her what I'd filmed. So this is the grounds of the church. We've got some toilets here. This is probably perhaps where the people that work here live. It's incredible. I could have asked to go up there, to be fair, but I'm not really a fan of heights. In the Orthodox Church, they believe about praying to icons, different apostles, right? The different apostles, the 12 apostles, and the mother of Jesus. And of course, in the Protestant Church, we don't do that at all, right? So they're completely different kind of ways about going about, I guess, praying and believing. Galina also gave me this little kind of like, I don't know, a little icon thing for my car. It's got obviously the cross on the back, and she taught me about the correct way to sign the cross, and it's got a prayer on the back. She was a very nice lady, a very, very nice lady, but she wasn't going to convince me to become Orthodox. I must have walked about 12, 13 kilometers already today. I wasn't expecting to be walking so much. I'm knackered already, to be fair. Time for a nice cup of tea.
Хорошие выходные. Спасибо. До свидания.
Давай.
Встреч.
Спасибо. Поедем домой.